In this video, I'm going to show you the number one mistake most real estate agents are making right now today to market themselves as real estate agents to get clients, and what the number one thing you should do instead to get people seeking out your service. To illustrate this point, let's play a quick mental exercise. So imagine you're going out to eat with your family, friends, wife or husband, and you guys see two restaurants. One looks like this, it's empty, people at the front of the house ask you to come in, and the other one looks like this. It's full, it has a big line in front of it, and really you see there's just a lot of demand to it. Which of those two restaurants would you rather eat at? Which one of those two restaurants do you think is going to have better food, give you a better experience, and overall better value for your money? Ultimately, this is going to be counterintuitive. I mean, sometimes people may think, well, I'd rather eat at like a restaurant where there's not a lot of people, but actually you'd rather eat at a busy restaurant. So you just kind of know that the more eager people are at that front of the house to get you into the restaurant, the worse the food is going to be, the worse the experience is just going to be. So that long line to the restaurant plays into just one of the cognitive biases built into our brains called the social proof tendency. So when we feel uncertain, we tend to look out to others for answers as to how we should behave, what we should think, and what we should do. In one study, researchers from New York University planted a man on a busy sidewalk, and amongst the crowd of people, he stopped and looked upwards for a minute. And the experiment was designed to test the power of this concept, power of social proof. When just one man gazed at the sky, 4% of passerbys also looked up themselves as well. And also they repeated the experiment with 5 people, and then actually 18% of people looked up, so 1 in 5. And then after that, they put in 15 people just looking at the sky, and the figure was 40%, meaning half of the people that walked in New York actually looked up to the sky as well. And so what we need to understand is that 99.9% of people don't make decisions in a way where they're kind of like a rational decision maker, where they're hiring a real estate agent, they're thinking about buying or selling a house, they make an Excel sheet, they list out the experiences, credentials, referrals and stuff like that. They don't do that. Instead, what most people are doing is that they kind of make decisions irrationally, and they fall into the trap of these cognitive biases. They have a friend, they have a family member, and they just kind of feel good about that realtor, or in general they might have a person they just kind of like, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the absolutely best real estate agent for them. So there's actually 9 of these kind of biases we found to be the most effective for real estate marketing after working with hundreds of real estate agents during the last half a decade. And I might make a video about these later on down the road. So if you're trying to get sellers to want to list their home with you, the worst thing you can kind of do is to shout, work with me, I'm the best real estate agent, to attract clients, like the kind of needy staff at the front of the restaurant I just gave you earlier that's kind of empty. And so that's the number one mistake most agents are doing right now. All their marketing is very salesy, it's kind of needy, and it's constantly asking people to work with them. And instead, you want to show yourself working with other people, show yourself working with a lot of people, and people will feel a pull to work with you themselves. But remember this, at the end of the day, if you have to strip down your marketing and do just the bare minimum, by far the fastest and easiest way to get a lot of clients right now today would just be to double down on creating a perception of you as an agent that there's a lot of people that have already worked with you, and there's a lot of people that want to work with you right now today. Don't get pulled into these lead generation gimmicks you see out there in the marketplace. There's a lot of these people out there telling you that you need to sign up for this marketing tool and that marketing software. But in reality, if you're not doing this, you're missing out big time. This is the backbone of your marketing, especially if you've been a real estate agent for a while. Before we dive into the practical examples of how to implement this into your marketing, we need to talk about supply and demand, because this ties down in with it. Now, local homeowners in your market always have an unspoken perception whether the demand of you exceeds the supply of you. And if it does, people perceive you as very, very valuable. If the supply exceeds the demand, people perceive you as less valuable. So in your marketing, there are certain things you might be doing right now today that make people perceive you as low in demand, and therefore not a good choice for them as a realtor. And you need to stop doing those things. And on the other side of that, there are certain things you can do to make people to perceive you as high in demand. Therefore, a great choice for a realtor that you should add into your real estate marketing. So what you want to think is, what can I do right now today to show other people that a lot of people want to work with me? And what do I need to stop doing that goes against that? So what this is going to do is that's going to reverse that power dynamic and draw the homeowners into you, so you don't have to chase the clients for yourself, but rather people seek out to you themselves. So now you may be wondering, well, how do I implement the social proof tendency and use the law of supply and demand to your favor? First thing you want to do is to start putting out more client success stories and images and videos of you and the clients you've helped. Not another one of those just sold, just listed posts, but an actual story of who the client is, how you met them, where they hired you, why they hired you, how you work with them, and what was the actual end result built to their personal lives and as regard to the house itself that they purchased or sold. And the people need to see you with the clients. You must have yourself in the images, in the videos, and you can do this again with text or video, and then post this to your email database, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and all the other platforms you have available. You can also bring up obviously your older reviews, testimonials, and make informative education-based emails and social media posts just based off the experience you've had. It doesn't have to be something that happened yesterday. You can even share a story that happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago if you've been in business for longer periods of time. And then also obviously share the case studies of those great client outcomes you've had, detailed breakdowns, and do this as much as you can. So the worst mistake you can really make, and this is something I see realtors just doing all the time, is that take a screenshot and they put it out on social media of a random Zillow review or something like that. Or sometimes I've seen people doing like a Canva post where they kind of insert a testimonial there. And as we talked about in the previous videos, it doesn't work. You must share the story of the person working with you. That's going to be the thing that's going to cause people to really kind of resonate with that and imagine themselves into the client's position. The second thing you want to do is to position yourself as a busy, in-demand professional. Instead of doing what most agents do, which is to say, well, I always have room for new clients, or you can call me anytime. If you limit your availability, people will see you as more in demand. So I actually have a great story on this. One time our salesperson got sick, and the rest of the sales team just had to pick up his calls. And so what happened is that on our calendars, when people were booking in the calls to speak with us, we had very little availability. I think we had like 10 or 15 slots. And so what happened was basically that those slots that were available, we still had 10 to 15 slots to fill. They got booked in almost immediately. It didn't happen instantly, but pretty much within the next 5 hours, the slot just got booked, and we were fully booked out for the rest of the week. What also happened is that the show-up rate, how excited, how prepared people were for those actual calls, that actually rose up as well. And so because we limited our availability, people just didn't see as many bookings available. That actually raised the quality of the calls, and the cost per booking actually went down as well. And so this applies to you as well. If you're busy working with clients, take advantage of that and let people know that you can only work with a specific type of client, and stop signaling that you're available anytime and with anyone. People will feel that pull to work with you, and the same concept we talked about earlier applies to this as well. And I'll tell you this as well, even if you're not busy right now today, you're still much better off creating yourself boundaries for who you work with, how you work with people, and limiting your availability, because you do want to create that perception of being in demand, but also having clear boundaries that this is what you stand for and this is what you accept. And this is one of the reasons why also having a good niche, knowing what type of clients you actually want to attract, and aligning your marketing with that as well works so well. And so if you do these things in your marketing, you're well on your way to getting local homeowners reaching out to you, asking for your help to sell their home, but also just having higher quality people in your business in general. Now, instead of letting this video just be another one of those videos you watched and forget, actually take action and implement this. And a way you can get started right now today, right after this video, is to post a client success story of a recent transactions you had. Now, if you just don't know where to start or how to create these type of posts, if you click on this video right here, you can actually watch a quick video I made recently where I actually detail this out word for word for what to say that you can just follow along step by step by step. So just click on that video right now, check that out, and I'll see you there.